good evening, Twitchers and YouTubers, and welcome to episode number 8 of the Bluegoose Interview Series. And tonight's guest is one that, well, we've had to go for a lot of loopholes to try and get this one in, but we finally got it available that we can both do it tonight. This driver is one who has risen through the ranks of iRacing very quickly, has now become one of the top runners in the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series, currently second in the point standings, got his first career win in the Peak Antifreeze Series. He is also the SRA Throwback and SRA Slick Daddy Series champion, Bobby Zalenski. Welcome to the show, Bobby.
Thanks for having me, Brett.
Well, Bobby, let's start things off with what got you into iRacing, because I did a little check. It looked like you and I roughly started around the same time, around 2013. And what got you into iRacing, first off?
What really got me into iRacing was just wanting the best online racing experience that I could find with NASCAR and anything really. I was never really a PC gamer, so I was always on Xbox playing anything they had to offer. And many years since I was about 3 years old, I'd play racing games on PlayStation or Xbox, and I eventually got iRacing in 2013. Around time my friend Marcus Richardson got it. We both really wanted to get it, and we're just the NASCAR games then and still on Xbox just weren't cutting it. And iRacing was something I was always interested in, but I never had the computer to run it or the money really. And we finally got it, and just never gone back since. It's just a lot of fun.
So now I mentioned the fact that I took a quick look. It looked like you and I started roughly at the same time, but you have obviously gone up to such meteoric heights, like running in SRA. I think I may have first saw you maybe in USRC, but don't quote me on that. But from comparing from where we started to now, you're in the Peak Antifreeze Series. How much dedication does it take to go from where you and I are running the leagues in SRA or even other races to now where you are in the Peak Antifreeze Series? How much dedication does it take to basically continue running like this and running with all these big guys?
I think it really comes down to how much you really enjoy it. Because I really enjoy racing on here. It's like everything I've ever wanted out of an online, sim racer, and I just have so much fun with it, and I'm competitive with it. So it just kind of comes naturally that I want to improve, and I just want to get better. Um, the last year, it's really I went from being a top 5 driver in SRA and to winning the SRA titles finally and being in the Peak Antifreeze Series. I guess the dedication just comes from being passionate for racing and just really loving it and really wanting to get better and believing that you can get better. It's really what it came down to for me. And you got to be patient because it takes a little while. And I really got into iRacing full on, like you said, with USRC. It was 2014, around the end of 2014, and SRA around the same time. Just from Tyler Ducharme actually, bugged me to get back on iRacing, and I started racing those leagues, and they were just so much fun. I just needed that little bump to kind of get full into iRacing, and I just show up every week I can and just race and think about what I can do better, and that's really what it comes down to, just trying to learn and learn from the best guys you race and race really good guys and just have fun really.
And I guess it also depends how much time you got as well, because like you said, you have a lot of dedication, a lot of time to really practice to be really good at it. And like I said, you've seen me out there. I'm in the mid pack, and sure, I got lucky with that win at Talladega in the Slick Daddy Series, but it just, I guess, shows you the fact that to have that dedication really gets you up there in running with all these big guys as well.
Yeah, for sure. I'm a believer kind of in that it's more skill than talent. I think anybody can be really fast in racing, in sim racing or real racing, if you just have the dedication and the mindset really for it. I don't think there's any talent that's gonna. I think it's just all mindset basically. I could be wrong in that, but I think it's because I used to be I was running around 15th in SRA, and I didn't have a chance against Marcus or any of them, but I was I just kept trying to get better and dedicated for it. You always want to take if out of your free time, a couple hours a day at least, if you're really into it to race and just try to get better. And I know practicing for pro, that was a lot of practice I put in. But pro's a lot more about your setup. So you learn a lot, of the track just by trying to make the setups, and you put all these laps in. And so like pro, I would put in at least a couple hours every day I could, and that's where the dedication really comes down to. You're gonna just get time in whenever you want, and like I said, it's easy to put the time in when you're having fun.
Now, speaking of like the open styles, obviously in the leagues that, of course, we've run like SRA and some other leagues, mostly they're fixed setups. But now, of course, in the Peak Antifreeze Series, you got the open setups, and that. Besides the stats, what are like some big differences in there between, say, league races with the fixed setups and, of course, the open setups in the Peak Antifreeze Series?
It's just so much different, like because in SRA we just so you go and you drive the best you can, but in open you can make the car better than everybody else, and then handle like you want it to handle it to what you like a car to handle. So it really in peak it really brings the best out of everyone if they have a proper setup maker or know how to make a setup properly, because you can cater it to your strengths and hide your weaknesses more if you know how to set up the car correctly. So I think that's what really comes down to. Fix, we just get in there, you have the 40-minute warm up, you learn how to drive the car as best you can. It's the same for everyone. It could fit other drivers more than others. So on a week by week basis, that's why you see some drivers do a better one week on raw speed than the other, just because the track's different too. But setups are also different, and I think on this build at least with the A car, a lot of the setups seem really similar and balanced. Unlike before you could get like a really tight setup or really loose setup. So that's basically kind of what fixed is.
So, of course, in your first season in the Peak Antifreeze Series, you are part of the Slip Angle Motorsports team, and I think I'm right on this. You're teammates with multi-time champion Ray Alfalla. And of course, also in the Peak Antifreeze Series, you're running with some of the fellow SRA drivers, Kyle Putz, Derek Bordeaux, Mark Richardson, and even ran with Nicholas Shelton in the Pro Series. How much more calming and how much easier is it to get into that, to get more comfortable with the series, knowing you got guys like the SRA, but to have a teammate like Ray Alfalla, that has to be incredible. That you have a teammate like him.
Oh, that's great. He taught me the reason I know what I know about setups now is because he jump started me on it by teaching me exactly what you need to look for in telemetry to know, arrow and all that. And I took that and I just, learned from what I know is good in telemetry, and there we go. So he helped me a lot there, and then just being able to practice against him is great. I don't need to ask him how to drive the track. I just race against him, and that's really helped a lot too. Yeah, I mean, all four of us from SRA, and you count five with Shelton, like we all went for pro at the same exact time. So we didn't, we were all kind of confident in our own ways, but I was like, I didn't really know if I could make it because I didn't have a lot of experience against most top guys, but we ended up like all making it except for Shelton. Unfortunately, I think he'll make it next year. But so, I mean, that just confirms like racing these years in SRA against peak level guys. I mean, it prepared me out really good just with racecraft and everything, especially Marcus, because he's always on top of his game and racecraft and everything, and you'll always have to really work for it when he's in the race. So it prepared me like really well.
So currently in your first season in the Peak Antifreeze Series, as of your last race at Charlotte, you are currently number 2 in the point standings. You're 7 behind Ray Alfalla. You got your first career win at Phoenix earlier this season. Maybe take us a little bit back to that win at Phoenix, and also what are goals you have for the rest of the season, or heck, what were your goals coming into this season?
Yeah, my goals coming into the season was just try to learn and take everything I could week to week and improve. I didn't really know what to expect, but all I knew is I really wanted to make the Chase, and right now we're in like an excellent position to do that with only 5 races till the Chase starts, and I still have a drop to play with because my worst finish is 14th from Daytona. So I think if we just average, we have to average like 25th or something to make it in, and I don't plan on averaging 25th. I want to do good every week and try to still compete. So right now it's just getting that Chase cleanly. Sonoma's coming up. I'd really love to win that race, but it's going to be really tough. And then obviously when we make the chase, make that final four and try to race for a championship, which is just mind blowing, really, considering a year ago. I mean, I didn't even know I'd be in this position, but so it's a lot of fun. And then Phoenix, yeah, that was one of those things where I obviously love to win. It didn't come exactly how I wanted to. I had a little contact with Clampett, and I didn't. It was on accident. 77 car slid up because he missed a shift. I had to move, and it was just a weird deal. But a win's a win, and I don't care. I just really wanted to win a race. I've never won a race by making a mistake before, so that was a first. But it's obviously amazing to win in your fifth start Peak Antifreeze Series. I didn't know it'd come this early. I thought my best shot all year would be Sonoma, just from I know my road racing speed. So yeah, going into Sonoma now with the win, I have like no pressure to win that race. I'm just gonna go have fun. But it's just been great. I didn't, second in points, only 7 back at Ray. I mean, I'm almost hoping we didn't have a playoff this year because it's the first year of the
Yeah.
playoff. Because I'm in a great spot, but it should be fun.
Quick note, I actually didn't realize you guys have a chase now, but anyways. So now we got all that stuff aside, your the Peak Antifreeze Series and all that stuff. I'm gonna move ahead into a couple other questions before we end this tonight. I've always asked everyone who I've talked to, about the NASCAR Chase and that, and now I started asking them about the NASCAR stage system. So I'm gonna ask you, Bobby, what is your opinion on the NASCAR segmented stage race system that they're doing this year?
I think it's fun and all, but I really didn't think it was really needed. But it's it seems to be just fine. I like the fact that these stages can attribute to your playoff points, so it makes every race that much more important. The races, have been hit or miss, and we've had some good races. So I mean, I don't hate it or anything. It seems pretty cool, but I don't think it's necessarily needed. Just kind of like the chase. I thought like I mean just from a it's a biased opinion, but I think a champion should be the best from all season, not just a select number of races. But it is what it is, and I don't mind the stage racing at all. It's good and it's bad, but I think it's more good than bad.
I will say you're the second guy that I have talked to that actually agrees with me about me not liking the chase. But anyways, the other one being Nicholas Shelton.
Yeah, I just don't think it's needed. I mean, I think NASCAR is trying to appeal to some broader audience that wouldn't care about racing regardless of what chase they're using. I think they should just stick to their roots, and I mean, the fans base kind of going down because they're making all these changes, and I mean, they risked it, but we'll see where it ends up. I think it obviously brings excitement with this playoff system and all with the 4 people at Homestead, but it's kind of manufactured, so is what it is. Though it's the same for everybody though for the drivers. So you just gotta play it the best, and you win the championship.
And my other question would be is that I always ask everyone, of course, I mentioned before in other interviews, everyone and their dog was excited for Dirt. Now, of course, Dirt's out on iRacing, obviously, but if there was like one thing you could implement in iRacing or change to iRacing, not counting of the stuff that might be coming out in the solitary future, but what would it be?
That's an interesting one. I don't know that. I mean, it has a lot of what I like already. I know a lot of people want like green, white checkers, but I don't mind the system how it is just from a driver perspective. But I know like for a spectator, it's way better to have green, white checkers, that under caution. But from driver perspective, I'm like, if I'm in the lead before the go and a caution comes out, I win. So it's like, yay. But if I'm second, it's like, oh, I really wish I had a chance. I really don't know though. I mean, Dirt came out and it's awesome. I really don't know. I really want to see rain, and like you said, that's probably going to come at some point. The day and night transitions will come, but it's. I mean, the dynamic track was a big thing I wanted, and that's come, and it's worked amazing in Peak. So I don't really know. I'd have to think about that longer. I'm sure there's something I'd love to see on iRacing, but I really like it how it is right now. It's really good how it is, and for sure I'll think of something eventually. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got for you there.
Well, Bobby, thanks for I guess we finally got the time to get this done. Zalenski, it was a long time coming for both of us. is there any shout outs you want to give out to before we go off the air this evening?
Yeah, sure. Shout out to everyone at the league you mentioned, Sim Racing Authority. Always fun to race you over there and race everyone there, and good racing. And shout out all my Slip Ankle Motorsports teammates for being awesome, and yeah.
Well, Bobby, on behalf of myself at Bluegoose Racing and Streaming, thank you again for being on, and best of luck the rest of the season in the Peak Antifreeze Series.
Thanks, Brett.